Welcome to Emergence. Now, I gotta say this because I need to address it. If you guys know me for a while, you guys know I do not like theme impacts. I hate them. Except maybe once or twice a year, I don't mind. But theme impacts are a bane, a plague. I just don't like them. I'm not lying. I just don't like them when they're being done constantly. Now, was this a good show? Yes, it was. And you can recommend people to watch it. It actually was pretty good. Now, I'm not going in order. That's not going to happen. This ain't no order show. So the first match I'm talking about is Trey versus Moose. Now, when you look at themed... when you look at the way they set up Moose, his theme, his storyline, in a sense, he reminds me of Randy Orton. At least a little bit, tiny bit, as a legend killer. The only difference is, in this situation, it's not a valid title, even though it is. And you wonder what they're going to do with Moose eventually. Well, we got an answer. The match itself was good. I did enjoy the match between him and Trey. They got very good chemistry. It was a very good match. At one point when Trey was up on the top turnbuckle, and once Moose did that drop kick on his butt and he flew off, he legitimately got hurt. You could see the welt on his back. I don't think I caught that. I don't think I did. But you saw that was a legitimate hard kick he received, getting kicked off the top turnbuckle. Now, the situation here was not the match itself. It was happening afterward, once EC3 came out and went and grabbed the title and took it from him. Now, the question's going to be, does this mean this is setting up something where you got EC3 giving the title back to Moose and saying, I'm taking this legitimately. I'm going to whoop your ass and then I'm going to destroy the title. Or is he going to destroy it now? I'm kind of hoping he will hand the title back to Moose. He'll have an in-ring segment. He'll say that I'm holding this because I know I'm better than you. Come out here, Moose. I'm going to hand it back to you. And then we're going to have a match. And I'm going to whoop your ass. And then I'm going to destroy this title. That's what I'm hoping for. Because if he just destroys it now, what was all that build up before? It didn't need to happen. Because he said he's going to come after the title and he's going to destroy it. But he made it sound like he's going to beat him in a match. If he just takes it and destroys it, it just doesn't feel like it was worth it. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Hernandez pays off Reno Scum for them beating up on the Rhino. Now, he said eventually he's going to be asking them to do something else. I don't know what. But to be honest, it feels like this is still filler. It doesn't feel like it's leading anything. Or leading anywhere. Now, I could be wrong. And this will lead somewhere. But it's very questioning what. Now, I had not said this last week. But I did see the Heath segment saying, look, you guys got to convince Impact to let me in. I need work. I have kids. Listen to me. I need this. Now, I don't know how far they're going to go with this. As I said before, when Heath came in, the Heath, this felt like a bite off of either SmackDown or Raw around 2016. It's basically that. That's what it is. Maybe Heath Slater wanted it. Maybe he didn't. Maybe the brass in the back and creative decided this. My guess is it might have been a little bit of both. But they gotta make it lead somewhere when it comes to Heath. They must make it lead somewhere. They can't just let this drag off. Then eventually he gets in. And then they don't do anything with him after that with Rhino. They need to make this mean something. You guys tell me below what you think. Because honestly, I do believe it needs to go there. Now, the Good Brothers versus Madman Fulton and Ace Austin. Did not expect them to win. I expected the Good Brothers to win. And they did win. Oh, sorry if you hear the guys next door. they're pretty noisy with their kids. Like I said before, they're nice people, but with their kids home all the time, I don't know how to handle it. Anyway, the promo they did before the match was good, but now they beat them. What now? Now, I don't expect the story to be over, and I'm sure Madman Fulton and Ace Austin's going to be doing something. It's obvious. They're going to do something. But this is going to lead somewhere. It's got to lead somewhere. It must lead somewhere. Will this lead for them getting a title match? I don't know. Maybe eventually. Who knows? We really didn't get a match on the show, but we did get one match on Wrestle House. We got Kylie Ray versus Taya Valkyrie. Now, the story that they're doing right now is that Rosemary has done a little bit of boogie boogie onto Larry D, or Leonard D. I think I got a picture of him. He getting all dressed up and he's using ring rust cologne in the hopes of enticing a Rosemary who's trying to piss off the Johnny Bravo to be with her. This is complicated. You got that, and then you're wondering what's going on between Susan, which is Susie, and cousin Jake. Or Jason, if you're going to do that way. And then you got Crazy Steve noticing this all. And it's like, well, I gotta admit, I forgot to say something about Rosemary talking to Crazy Steve last week. And it was good to see that they did have an interaction. But then you're having almost Crazy Steve being the narrator of this, which makes it wonder how far they're going to go with this Wrestle House. Now, I'm not hating it. It is more entertaining, and it kind of makes sense the way they've been doing the wrestling here when they want to really have people feel like there's something there. At least you got it in this setting instead of in the Impact Zone where it's very confined, where if you guys didn't see the Chris Van Vliet video with EY, Eric Young, I just did. I didn't notice that he actually did it on the 21st of July. I forgot. I totally forgot to check it out. But he made it very clear that Impact and Anthem does not want to take a chance with anyone's health. That is the reason why they don't have anyone in the Impact Zone. That's the reason why I believe they're doing Wrestle House. They're trying to go around the problem by doing it cinematically, or at least a TV series type of style. Kind of like Lucha Underground, which I'm alright with in a sense. And just knowing that people are going to be doing these virtual audiences or a AI audience, or they're going to be doing like what the NBA wants to do and putting fans on LCD screens or LED screens, and you get to see them in that respect. It still kind of feels very what is the right word? Very sterile. It doesn't feel like it could be very dynamic. Anyone else? I know the Lex Man, he saw the statement about Thunderdome on Raw. I didn't see Raw, and I don't fully know about Thunderdome, but what he described about when Thunderdome comes out and they are really going to try and use LED screens, not LCD, LED screens, and show either AI fans or actual fans who are home, and they're basically appearing that way. It still feels very, it really does feel very sterile. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. We got, let me give it to you like this. When it came to the closing match of the night, seeing the Motor City Machine Guns win was not a surprise. I didn't expect Ethan or Josh to win. I expect them to lose. But now with them losing, I know they're going to continue the rivalry. I know they're going to bypass Falaba and TJP. I know they're going to bypass Reno Scum. I know they're going to bypass, particularly that Wrestle House is still going on, Larry D and AC Romero, along with cousin Jake and Cody, are not there. So I'm sure that the North is still going to be having a fight with them. It's inevitable. But they must eventually do something with them. They must give them someone or some type of story to sink their teeth into, because if they just do it like this, it's not going to be good for the show. It just isn't. I'm just not going to care. I'm just not. Let's see. What am I forgetting here? Am I forgetting anything? Willie Mack. Almost did forget. Willie Mack had an interview. Pissed off as hell. He was pissed at what Eric Young did to his best friend Rick Swan. And then Brian Miles grabs the cameraman, grabs the Jimmy Jacob, takes him to an isolated room, and pretty much goes off on WWE and Vince McMahon, saying that this is my time. I'm taking control of my life. This is what I want. It's in my face. This is what I am not defined by some crazy old coot who doesn't understand anything. He's out of touch. He literally goes there. He literally goes there. He may not say Vince's name, but he goes there. And then Willie Mack goes and attacks him, which is understandable. Now, the question's going to be, where does this lead for Brian Miles? As I said last week, it was wrong. And I know some of my subscribers says he's not a main tier player. There's no reason to let him be up on the top. This is not about him being up on the top. This is about making a mid-carder or an undercarder look good at first until you put him into that position. Brian Miles can be a mid-carder, no problem. But if he looks like a freaking jobber before he becomes a mid-carder, it's stupid. And I'm making it clear to any of my subscribers who says you don't understand. He does not need this. He's never been a main event player. We're not talking about a main event player. Listen to my words. He is a mid-carder. But who says you can't make a mid-carder look good? Look at what happened with Beer Money. They were always mid-carders. Yes, they were in Team Canada and America's Most Wanted. And you know who the ones I'm talking about. And in their perspective, tag teams and group. But it did not change the fact as mid-carders, they were heavily over. You don't need to be in a main event to be over. You can be a mid-carder, you can be over. You can be an undercarder, you can be over. It doesn't make a difference. Brian Miles did not need the job to an Eddie Edwards. He didn't need it. And now, yes, this could lead into a good storyline where he has to raise up from the bottom. I understand that. But you could have built it in a better way than have him job his ass off. You see, I'm mad. He didn't need the job the very first night he comes in to Eddie Edwards. If he had to lose, it could have been a screwy ending using Eric Young. It did not have to be that clean. Sometimes you need to protect mid-carders and undercarders if you want to make your show mean something. Now, will this mean something between him and Willie Mack? I think so. If they book Brian Miles properly, even if he has to lose, does not mean it won't be good for him. As long as it makes it good for him to lose in the right way. And last week, he did not lose the right way. It did not need to happen on his first night on Impact, cleaned it to Eddie Edwards for something that wasn't necessary. It was not. Now, and Eric Young, his video package was excellent. I did enjoy it. Now, the closing for me. What? I believe I got a shot. He's in my face. What? Now, I know. People are going to say, well, we told you he was going to get it. No. Mind you, I'm happy he won. But no. You just put the title on Raju. And basically dropped Chris Bay in the most stupidest angle you can think of. Now, mind you, I'm happy Raju won because I've been saying it for years. Why don't they do something with him? Why don't they put him in a prominent storyline? Why don't they give him a real good character? And here's the thing. Kind of like what happened with Tessa Blanchard. They did not book her properly. And even though everyone was happy beyond stink that Tessa won the title, she was not booked right. And now you look at Raju, a guy that does have a great personality. He can pull off a good personality, good character. He goes well in the ring. He's got good chemistry with many people. And instead of you doing something special with him, something different, maybe making him an actual threat, maybe a badass, something different. No, you use the cowardly chicken shit heel to try and con a supposedly smart finesser, the smooth criminal to me, the smooth criminal, the man who can always take anything he wants from you. He can steal it. He can steal a win. He can steal a title, and he looks smooth doing it. You're telling me that you set up a Chris Bay, who seems to be smart as hell, and you do this to him. And then you do that to Raju, who deserved better than just to act like, well, I'm going to trick this guy's ass. Instead of actually showing that he has ability in a ring, he can do a personality. He's in my face again. Look, guys, I'm not 100% unhappy that Raju has the damn title. The match itself with him, TJP, and Chris Bay was actually quite good. It did feel a little choreographed, a little too much between Chris Bay and TJP. It looked choreographed. It was more smoother when it came to Raju dealing with either one of them. It was just way better. It seemed that, I don't know what it was, Chris Bay and then came to TJP, it wasn't they didn't have chemistry, but it looks like they overthunk the match. So they made it more choreographed than it should have been. It should have been more natural, and it was not. But when you see this situation where Raju wins the title when it's obvious he shouldn't have won it because of how they booked and made him look like a stooge. And I know people are going to say, well, that's the beauty of it. He looked like a stooge, but he was a genius. He tricked him. No. It was obvious he was trying to set him up. It was obvious that he was setting him up. It looked choreographed. It looked telegraphed. And they let Chris Bay, a guy who looks like a genius, look like a freaking fool. That hurt Chris Bay and it hurt Raju. Mind you, I am happy that he won the title. But here's the question. How long do you actually think he's going to be holding it? Do you actually think they're going to let Raju keep it for a while? I think he's just a transitional champion. And that makes it even worse. If he loses the title within about a month or two, that just shows they just wanted to give it to him. And they did not have any investment. And I hope I'm wrong. Maybe they'll let him change his personality, be more dominant, more controlling, more powerful, more something. Or they'll just use him as a transitional champion. Within 2 months, he's done. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.